Online searches that touch on controversial subjects will regularly be filtered, censored, or even banned. For what? Quite simply because the results listed, which are transmitted to you by the search engine you use, have at first glance been carefully examined to meet the objectives of conformity of the discourse. What does this mean? In fact, as soon as an unknown or unrecognized factor attempts to make its way into the information universe, it must be studied and analyzed by individuals from various backgrounds, namely linguists, political scientists, without forgetting the verifiers assigned to this duty, to this task of inspecting the web to dissect any content that could be closely or remotely related to an incitement to disobedience or dissidence. Why is this necessary, you would ask me? Such a process requires a lot of resources in terms of time and money. Certainly, but the main defenders of a unipolar political system do not look favorably on the diversity of points of view, and even less on the avenues seeking to invalidate some of the declarations made official. That is to say that the biggest challenge for whistleblowers or even truth-seekers, for example, is to succeed in breaking through this virtual wall which stands between their screen and that of their audience. As soon as a state and its multiple actors feel the hot soup and their secret risks being revealed, their first reflex is to deny the veracity of the facts by arguing that the burden of proof falls on the person who contests the first version, and that anyone supporting this alternative discourse, this version which succeeds the very first, is exposed to possible complications or even reprisals for having had the audacity to think outside the box. It is as if the fact of not wanting to comply with a common basis becomes a gesture of rebellion, and therefore a need to police is necessary. Beware of those who have a head full of ideas. We cannot do better than walk on eggshells to avoid imbroglios. And above all, it goes without saying that offending, upsetting an individual in a position of power, think of a head of state, a public figure, an industrial magnate, always has the effect of scratching the hypersensitive ego, and even denting the reputation so cherished and maintained. It all comes down to appearances. And it is this world of vanities, of worldliness, of superficialities that tries to dictate to us what should be allowed. It is humanly and simply impossible to seek to reconcile freedom of expression, multipolarity of policies, and variability of motivations when the main interested party, the government, wants to remain at the center of everything. Ears that hang here and there, even close to manholes. The level is not there when you stand near the gutters. Suits and ties do not buy the ability to use a well-honed critical mind. We still need to know about its existence. Coming back to the beginnings of this presentation, this is why online research is so delicate and complex. Know-how is obliterated, evacuated from the public space, while opinion is intensely encouraged. The slightest desire for opposition and resistance to arbitrary dictates erected by the artisans of right thinking is violently repressed and contained in a sort of black box. Anyone who dares to stick their nose in risks losing big.